Hello, welcome to Irresistible. You ignite your passion and purpose. I'm Karen Seltz. I am excited to dive into this episode. I've had a vacation. I did a girls' road trip, went all over Arizona and part of Utah, saw some of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in nature. And I know this is common for me, but when I get into nature, I kind of regain a different type of spiritual connection and one that is easy for me to forget when I'm in my day-to-day life. I work from home, so not leaving the house all that often, especially not getting into nature too frequently. So I saw some magnificent things, some huge mountains. I went to Antelope Canyon in Arizona, and it's absolutely breathtaking, and went to Zion National Park, which there's mountains everywhere, 360 degrees, and it's just mind blowing. They're massive. So, what I was thinking, like, since I got home, and I was also let me just back up, sorry about that. But with these two women that I met at a Dr. Joe Dispenza retreat, a week-long retreat. So it's like-minded people. And one of the women, my dear friend Maria, said one of her journal prompts that she does is, what is the message my higher self has for me today? And it reminded me of a practice that I used to do many, many years ago when I had a spiritual mentor. And she would write her questions for God, source, spirit, whatever you want to call it, and she would do it in one color, like black or blue. And then she would write the answers in red. And I did this practice for many years and I've stopped for some reason. So it kind of reminded me of that. So just starting to write. So I wanted to share that practice with you because it's so beautiful what comes out of it. So I wrote down like a few things, like I'm really, really grateful for where I am in my life. Things are flowing. I'm in this beautiful space of abundance, and like I have an overflow of clients, which is really the first time in my life this has happened, at least since I've been an entrepreneur. I mean, I've had other really financially abundant times in other careers, but since I've been an entrepreneur, I've been in this state of flow more recently in the last 4 or 5 months or so. And it's so nice to be in this place where I'm actually making a difference. I'm actually serving people, and I'm not worried about my finances. And I did some journaling, since I've been home, I've been journaling every day. Like, what's the message my higher self has for me? And one of the things I got was about abundance, that even though I'm in flow and everything's flowing and I'm abundant, I'm still limiting what is available to me. And so it came to me, this topic of 3 ways to deepen your spiritual connection. So I'm going to invite you to do this practice of journaling and just writing, like, what message does my higher self or God, universe, spirit have for me today? And just let your pen move, let it flow and see what happens. Now, technically, you're supposed to do this right when you wake up. I don't do that. I never follow the rules. So do it whenever you have time, whenever you have quiet space. Stream of consciousness writing is really good for many people. And I'm all about honoring yourself. What works for you? Remember the 5 a.m. club? I think that doesn't work for everyone. So honor yourself, do what works, but do it, do something, find the time, schedule it in. So writing this stuff out, I really realized some of the places where I've reverted back to ego mind thinking and doing it the way I think is right or correct, instead of trusting God through me, because I've done a lot more recently of rapid resolution therapy sessions. And I consider it to be more technical than coaching, which I've been in for 8 or 10 years now. But the RRT process is very fluid, and we do what comes to mind to cause the intention that we've set for the session. And I've been like, I realized like kind of mechanical in the way I've been going about things. And this client came to me and she was perfect. She taught me exactly what I needed and really got me present and trusting that I don't have to have all the answers. And that's like one of the things that I've struggled with my entire life is not wanting to look stupid, wanting to look like I knew what I was talking about. And anytime I didn't know the answer, it was so embarrassing for me growing up. And now I'm like, I don't need to know the answer. Like God's got the answer and God's got my back. So all I need to do is ask, like, hey, I ain't got this. Help me out. What would you have me say? So that's another practice that I do is this talking, just having a conversation with God, universe, source, spirit, whatever you want to call it. And I used to do this without fault before coaching sessions. And before coaching sessions, I do it. It's the practice, it's my normal. And it's get me out of the way and speak through me. And now I realize I get to do that with my RRT sessions as well. And just really trust that, I've done over 200 sessions, probably 250 sessions by now, that I've got it. Like I don't have to do something the right way. Whatever happens is going to cause that intention for the person and really create a difference for them. So I'm really stepped into a deeper trust of my connection to God through this client who was super angry at me. She was super angry at me. And it really supported me and got me to really trust my connection to God and then build that connection with her and just trust that whatever happened was perfect, which was so lovely. And I think about in the past, if somebody was angry at me, I would hide. I would hide from them. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't want to deal with it. So it just shows, anything can be transformed. So if you have any of those tendencies of avoiding conflict or hiding, if someone's mad at you, taking it personally, thinking there's something wrong with you or you did something wrong, or any of those stories, those things that our minds make up, they can be transformed because I just witnessed it in real time. And I wanted to share it with you because, hey, I'm a human. I have my stuff too. Like at first I'm like, oh, some people get mad. I'm like, it doesn't affect me. Other people, it depends what mood I'm in, right? So I went through it and then I was able to access this deep, deep level of compassion and love for this person and all the pain that she's gone through, that she's been carrying for so long. So, other ways that I have found to really deepen my connection is finding a spiritual book that really resonates. And for me, that book most often is The Way of Mastery. It's published by Shanti Christo Foundation, and it could be whatever resonates with you. For me, when I read this book, when I read it the very first time, I'm like, oh my gosh, my body felt so good. It like felt so like a big hug to my body. I'm like, oh my gosh. And for me, it resonates at every single level as truth. When I read it, it's not punitive, it's not shaming, it doesn't cause any guilt in me. It's like, oh, yes, yes, that's right, that's true, yes. And it really got me to embrace my own innocence, my own perfection, and the fact that there's nothing I could do to be any more worthy of God's love. There's nothing I could do to be any less worthy of God's love. I'm just worthy. And the same for you. We are created a certain way and we remain that way no matter what we do. We can't become less worthy. We can't become more worthy. We are just plain worthy. And I think so many of us spend our whole lives trying to earn it because that's how we grew up, right? Like if I cleaned my room, good girl. If I got all A's, good girl. If I didn't eat all my food, bad girl. Whatever. If I was messy or loud, which I am, all of those things, then I was a really naughty girl. I was very bad. And We grow up thinking these things and viewing ourselves through this lens of trying to get it right, trying to earn love, trying to be more so that we could be lovable. And it's so backward. I mean, I know a lot of people operate that way because they're trying to teach their children how to behave and how to fit into the world. And as adults, it doesn't serve us to carry that stuff any longer. So, one other thing, a practice that really supports me is there are a couple meditations in this book, The Way of Mastery, that have supported me. When I forget the truth of who I am, I go back to this prayer, and it's a meditation. It's called, wait, that's not it. It's 5 minutes. So you do 5 minutes, you breathe in, I accept. And when you breathe out, it's the love of God. I accept the love of God. And I remember when I was like deep into my addiction, I started doing this and I'm like, it hit me one day. I just did it just to do it because, it was in the book and, I'm a good student. But it hit me one day. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's been here all along. This huge, beautiful, accepting love has been here all along, but it was me, my humanness, that made me think what I was doing was so repulsive that no God could possibly love me. So I was unconsciously rejecting that love, but it was always there. It was always there for me. It never went away. It never dissipated. It never wavered. It was always there. So once I realized that, I'm like, oh, I've been rejecting it. So it's like, I accept the love of God. Okay, yeah. And once I started accepting that love, and once I got it, that God loved me no matter what I had done, no matter what I was doing in the moment, I couldn't be not loved by God. It's impossible. So, one of the analogies in the Way of Mastery is God as an ocean and us as individuals wanting to have an experience. We individuate into these bodies. And they call it like a tip, like a little piece of foam on the edge of a wave. Like we're like, oh, I'm going to go have a human experience. And then when the tide goes back in, we all become part of the ocean again, which is we're all one. We all are God. We come from God. We are God. You can't take it out of us. It's who we are. And just really getting that, like, I don't have to earn it. It just is. It just is. And the knowing that I am part of that, I am that. And I'm here to express that degree of love, that degree of acceptance, and to show other people by my acceptance of myself and all the crap that I've done over the course of my lifetime. By accepting myself through all of it, the good, the bad, the ugly, and not, like putting glitter on all my stuff that I prefer not to share with people, but just really like, hey, this is something I've done. And guess what? I love myself. I don't regret doing it. Now, did it hurt people? Yes. And it's really interesting to think about it through that lens, like the hurting of other people, because one of the things that a mentor of mine used to say is, I'm playing a role for them and other people are playing a role for me. And when you look at it that way, like we don't know, even though we are God, we have God in us, we don't know the master plan for every soul. We think we do, at least I do. I know what's best for you. I find that humorous because it's true for me in many cases, especially when people are driving. I know how they should drive. All right, I digress. So when we do something that causes another person pain or causes them to have a reaction to us, like this woman, right? She was really angry at me. We're playing a role for her. We are bringing up to them, we're showing them a mirror. Hey, this is a part of you that's unhealed. Are you ready to heal it? And then they have a choice to make. So when we hurt other people, we're giving them a choice to heal those unhealed parts of themselves, to forgive the parts of themselves that they find to be unlovable. Now, it's really interesting. I'm not advocating for hurting people, but I'm saying if you do, it will be used for them. It will be used for their growth and development. I believe that everything is happening for us, every single thing, even if we can't see it. So the quicker we can get from like, oh my gosh, this thing happened to me. Why did this happen? Which is a normal reaction. Many of us have it, at least at first. The quicker we can shorten that, we shorten that period of time that we stay in that victim state and start thinking, well, if everything happens for me, how is this happening for me? Show me, because I don't see it right now. That's where I get to, like, most often, is this place like, well, this sucks. This is really unpleasant. I'm not enjoying it. Show me how this is happening for me. What's the lesson here? What is this here to show me, to teach me, or to lead me to? Because sometimes those crappy moments are stepping stones to something much better, the thing that we're meant for or meant to do. So looking at, how is this a stepping stone, or what lesson is this here to teach me? Especially if it keeps coming up over and over and you keep refusing to learn it, and you keep feeling like a victim. And it's not to beat yourself up ever, because I don't think you're causing it to happen on purpose, but it's happening for you in order for you to learn a lesson. Maybe you get to set a better boundary. Maybe you get to love yourself. Maybe you get to use your voice. Maybe you get to stop using your voice. Some of us like say way too much sometimes when it wasn't warranted. I used to do that a lot more than I do now. I used to give people unsolicited advice all the time. I believe I've stopped for the most part. If you catch me on this and you know me, please let me know. Usually I ask people permission, like, hey, are you open to another perspective? So, how is this happening for me? That's another way that you can really accelerate your spiritual growth, and look at yourself as the creator of your experience. I'm the creator of everything I experience. And there are some concepts in the way of mastery that I absolutely love, which is outer world reflects inner beliefs. So the way that I see something is going to be completely different than the way you see something, because we have different beliefs. We're going to perceive the exact same event differently. Let me give you an example. Any presidential debate, do you think a Republican and a Democrat are going to view it the same way? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They're going to see it completely differently, usually, unless they've done a ton of work and they've gotten to a place of more neutrality. So every event in the Course in Miracles and the Way of Mastery, every event is neutral. All events are neutral. What gives them meaning is our minds. They only have meaning that we assign to them. And that one is a really difficult concept. It was for me to get for a very long time. So I'm like, so if somebody beats a child, that's a neutral event. Yep. Some parents see that as teaching the children how to be better behaved. Some people see it as abuse, right? So there are lots of ways to look at everything. And like murder, capital punishment, abortion, those could be murder in some people's eyes, right? And in other people's eyes, they're not. So it's really fascinating to look at these things from that lens of neutrality and just play with it. Play with your own perspectives, see what comes up for you. And one of the quickest ways to develop spiritually, which I think is also a way to deepen your spiritual connection, is releasing your attachment to your judgments. And how do you do that? Well, one way, I used to do this with clients all the time, is to have them keep a judgment journal for about a week. And just like one of those small notebooks that you can carry around in your purse or your back pocket. And just, write on the top of one page, my judgments about myself. And then just write them down every time you notice, like, oh, I look fat today, or, I feel really bitchy, like whatever it is. Or I look cute today, whatever it is, positive, negative, write it down. And then skip a couple pages and write down at the top of another page, my judgments about others. Now, this is where it gets interesting. And I want you to write down everything positive, negative, people that you admire, people that really trigger you or piss you off, like write it all down. And then go back to it in a week and see what comes up. And it doesn't work as well if I tell you what it means, but I'm going to do it anyways because, I might not get to it in another episode. So, your judgments about yourself are your conscious judgments. You're aware you believe these things about yourself. So, they're generated from the conscious mind. Yes. Your judgments about other people are really your subconscious judgments about yourself. Yes, you. So try not to remember this when you're doing it, because then you're going to say, oh, no, I don't think that about myself. So I don't want you to do that. Just be neutral, be the scientist, and just write them down. But then when you go back over it, it won't make any sense because you'll be like, oh, she's fat, she's skinny. Like, how can I think both? Well, I don't know. But your subconscious mind does. And if you have judgments, if you're watching something on television or you hear about somebody who did something, this is a really good way to find your triggers and to really heal them. So what I do when people are having a conflict, I'm like, what are your judgments about this person? What are your opinions? Sometimes that word works better for people because they're like, I'm not judgmental. Okay. What are your opinions about them? Well, they did this. So here's what I'm going to say to do. If you're watching television, you see somebody murdered a child, and that's not something you would ever do. Obviously, that's not a projection of you. You're never going to murder a child. But here's where it gets interesting. What are your opinions or your judgments? What kind of person would do that? And that's where the juice is. So, because as human beings, we all have every single characteristic within us. We tend to think some of these are better. They're good qualities. Some of them are bad qualities. Some are the shadow self, some are the light, whatever. So the shadow and the light, they're like opposites of the same coin, opposite sides of the same coin. So one I like to use for me, one of my biggest trigger words was selfish. So selfish is on this side. On the other side for me is generosity. So I was so afraid of being generous that I gave all the time. And guess what? I had nothing left to give to myself. I had nothing left to give to the people I really wanted to give to because I gave it willy-nilly to everybody. So I could not be generous unless I started to embrace some selfishness, which, now it's like popular to talk about self-care and self-love and all these things. Back, when I was triggered by this, it wasn't so popular. So until I started to take care of myself, to put my own oxygen mask on first, I had nothing to give anyone. In fact, I was resentful a lot when people would ask me for things because I didn't have anything. I was completely empty. So when you start to notice certain characteristics in other people, like what kind of person cuts you off in traffic? Somebody who's in a hurry. All right. I mean, you might think somebody's selfish, somebody, whatever. So then when you get the characteristics, I want you to ask yourself, when have I ever been selfish? And just see what comes up. And when you can embrace that part of you and love that part of you, like, it's okay. Like we all have everything. It's only when we try to avoid having these things that we put them on other people. And judgment is creating separation between you and your brothers and sisters. That's what we call them in Way of Mastery. Like your brothers and sisters, they're really a reflection of you. What you see in them is you, whether it's good or bad. I do bad in quotes because I don't believe in bad. I don't believe in good. I believe that, everything's there. So judging somebody, feeling better than somebody or worse than somebody is really a form of separation. And separation is a trick that the ego mind uses in order to keep you from having that connection with God. So whenever you feel better than someone or worse than someone, remind yourself, hey, we are one. And what I like to ask myself is, how is that me? If I see someone that's like, I think is like a jerk, I'm like, okay, how is that me? Show me, because I don't see it. I think I'm way better than that. Or someone who's like less intelligent than me, show me how that's me. And it's incredible what comes up. And it's humility, but humility, the definition I like best is right sized. It's like not too big, not too small. So humility isn't saying, oh no, I'm not that good, or no, I'm not good at anything. That's not humility. Humility is stepping into your gifts, being willing to share them, and being willing to take some flack, because some people don't like when people shine. They don't like the light. They're like, ah, the light. It's too bright, right? There are vampires in the world in many cases, many different forms. So it's right size, being able to step in, and you're not too big. You're still curious and open to other opinions, other ways of thinking, and you're still willing to share. What are your gifts? What are your opinions? What is the light that you are here to share? That for me is humility, being willing to share it, no matter what the consequence. Because sometimes there are consequences, right? Like I share things online, sometimes people don't like them. So they make comments. And I look at it like, do I have the capacity to love this person right now? Usually I do, especially if they're strangers. It's easier for me to love them and to not take anything personally because they don't know me, right? So, all that to say, there are so many paths to God, and all you need to do is ask, be willing, open. God, show me the way. What would you have me say? What would you have me do? What's your message for me today? It's so amazing. So play with it however it works for you. You know, you can journal, you can write, and remove all the obstacles that get in the way between you and your connection. Judgment is a big one, and judgment's normal. It's normal. So when you start doing the judgment journal, it will really make you aware of how often you're in judgment. When I first did this, I thought, I'm not judgmental. And the moment I pulled out of the parking lot, someone cut me off. I'm like, what a jerk. I'm like, oh, I guess I am. And so it just opened up my eyes because I had so many blind spots. I was the queen of denial. So check it out. I mean, why not? And let me know what you experience. And if you have any of these things that are stuck, if you have stuckness or turmoil, the thing that I really, really support people with is getting past trauma or difficult events and getting the good news to the subconscious mind that they are over. There's nothing to do. No action is required. You've already done what there is to do. You survived it. And I do that in a quick and painless way that's called RRT, or rapid resolution therapy. So if you want to check that out, please book a free call with me. I will tell you all about it, what we would do, and we will go from there. Thank you so much for watching Irresistible You, Ignite Your Passion and Purpose. I'm Karen Seltz. I'll see you right here next time. Mwah.